Welcome back to Williams Stadium in Lynchburg, Virginia for the Liberty Flames Facebook postgame live show. Now we are going to take you after a Liberty victory 22-16 over Troy University. We're now going to take you to the post-game press conference from Coach Turner Gill.
Very exciting. To God be the glory. Let's thank you to the Lord Jesus Christ. Allowed our players to respond in a great way, our coaching staff. Really proud of the defensive staff. We kind of made a few little adjustments. We moved Coach Wimberly. We talked. We moved him upstairs in the press box. We moved Marshall Roberts, Josh Bookbinder down on the field. We thought we can get things done a little bit better. And again, it's amazing. I didn't know if it would respond as quickly in the first ball game of the adjustments that we made. Obviously made some adjustments in practices too. Our guys bought into it. They were definitely eager and paid attention to detail. They were really wanting to get better, and that's all you want to do. And then offensively, I think we played well enough to win the game, the obvious. We made plays when we have to make them. Wasn't pretty from an offensive point of view. Special teams-wise, wasn't pretty from that standpoint. But, again, you got to find a way to win these kind of games. That's why I'm so proud. You know, every now and then when you win and everything's going on cylinders and you score a lot of points, that's all looks good. But this is a significant of a win of the way we played. Obviously, the opponent we played makes it even greater too. So, again, I'm just proud of where our coaching staff came together on a lot of ways as far as this week. Obviously, Antonio Gandy-Golden wasn't available. We had some other guys that wasn't available, and that's why this special win here is just so special to say when you're a football team, you have to respond. And we talk about them whenever your number gets called, when you're in there and ready to play, you got to be able to make plays. And so this is just a great example. We got to build from it, though. We got to build from it, and we just can't be a one-time deal as far as winning a football game like this. And I know our kids are going to respond as we move forward. Again, to God be the glory.
That defensive effort after the past 2 weeks in New Mexico with the way the second half performed, what can you say about the way these guys played for 4 quarters and played probably the most complete game of the season?
No doubt, maybe one of the better ones, definitely one of the best ones since I've been here. And again, a good football team, Troy. I know they didn't have the quarterback per se, but again, the way we responded for 4 quarters, that's what you got to do. We alternated some guys. Some young guys came in and made some plays. And veteran guys made plays. Again, just a great game to build upon. And I know our coaching staff and our players will be ready to respond. So I'm very, very, very proud of them.
You went for 2 there after taking the lead late. Was that a gutsy call to get it to 6 to force them to score a touchdown and then convert the PAT to take the lead?
I mean, it's really just a simple call. There's no reason to kick an extra point. As far as the 5, you want to have a chance to give them to score a touchdown, and these tied and got to kick an extra point. Also, we double-checked the chart. We all have kind of an analytical chart that we have. The chart said to go for, when we get up by 4, you go for 2 points. So the combination of both my own instincts, 1, but 2, it got confirmed as far as with the chart, going for 2 on the chart.
At what point did you know that AGG wouldn't be available, and how much did that affect the offensive game plan?
It happened really on, I guess, late Thursday was when it happened, late Thursday. Again, as mono, it is what it is. We are all want to make sure that he's a person, taking care of him as a person. And again, we don't always do that. So it's a great job by our guys to respond like they did late in the week.
Explain the call at the end of the game there, deciding to run it on 4th down as opposed to kicking the field goal.
They didn't want to take a risk of a block, and they run it back for 9. It's more riskier to go for a field goal and a block versus even running the ball or kneeling like we did. I just want to take a chance that they run as much kind of have. I knew I wasn't going to be able to run out the clock completely, but they want to run it out as much as possible as far as that goes, so didn't want to take that chance.
Zach Fouts went out really early in this game. Can you talk about the play of Del Bafin and even Jerome Jackson in the blocking game, the way they stepped up and increased playing time?
Yeah, our two tight ends coming in with Fouts. I don't know the extent of his injury at this point in time, and we'll find that out in the next 24, 48 hours. Proud of Jerome Jackson, redshirt freshman, hadn't played a whole lot last year. Obviously redshirted, and then this year he's been kind of steady coming in and doing things. Again, Fidel Obathan really came on strong. He's always been a guy that we really have believed in. He's just been injured so much last year. Had a little bit of injury as far as the beginning of the year. And now he's finally back healthy, and you can see he's showing an example of what he can do, particularly from a pass receiving and even the blocking part of it. So I think the future's bright in him. He's a very talented young man. Had not played a whole lot of football as far as been in high school. He played there in the last 2 or 3 years, and now I think he's going to continue to get more reps, and I think he can get better.
Buckshot's last drive there, obviously not his best game leading up to that point, but then he was able to deliver that last drive, had, I think, 3 third-down conversions. How great is that to have a guy like that, veteran, to deliver in that situation?
Well, a guy you go to that you're comfortable with, and we had some conversation, Coach Daly, and talking to Buckshot, what are the things that he liked down there in that last drive, along with Farrell, kind of some one-on-one routes once we found out that they were going to probably play man-to-man coverage. And we thought we'd go to one or two of the man-to-man routes that we feel very, very comfortable with, or they feel very, very comfortable with. And we decided to go that route. Could have decided to go ahead and run the ball and play for a field goal. But I liked the call. I liked what it was about. And I said, hey, if they one-on-one, let's make that call there and let's go after it.
Troy, I'm sorry, go ahead. Troy had the 3rd longest road winning streak in the country coming in. Your defense played extremely disciplined, only 3 penalties. How did you and the coach keep them calm, disciplined throughout this game when the Troy team was coming in very confident? Well,
I give credit to Coach Wimberly, associate head coach, defensive coordinator. Again, coming in this week, probably talked about a lot of different things. And I think he did a great job of getting his staff, number one, and then the players, sitting down and chatting with them one-on-one, and then as a group, talking about what we had to get done. And we know we can get it done. Now it's up to the coaches and along with the players to really tell them what the how is and what the why is. So I think, again, a lot of credit has to go to the entire whole staff, number one, but really the defensive side of the ball. I think the biggest improvement that you want to see in 1 week, I mean, that's a great job. You got to compliment our defensive staff particularly.
Tough couple of weeks, last 2 weeks going on the road to New Mexico 2 weeks in a row, and a tough week last week with the loss. What does it say about the team's resiliency, facing all the adversity going up against and such a good team on the other side, all the injuries, et cetera, et cetera?
Well, I think it just speaks for itself. I thought this game would be a very difficult game from the standpoint of as far as their energy, as far as them being able to come back and be ready to play a whole 4 quarters. I got to give a lot of credit to Ian McCall, our nutritionist, Miss Melissa, Barry Fink, Chris Casola, a lot of different people in our administration and in the athletic training, medical, that talk about how can we have a better chance to recover with our players. What can we do, besides the food, besides the water and all those kind of things, and we did that. And obviously did some things there as far as giving them massages and a lot of other little different things that we really, really took into them. The guys listened to what we had to do. Otherwise, I don't think we would have been able to get to this type of a play that we got today if it wasn't for all the people that got involved to try to help our players respond from making those 2 trips out to New Mexico.
All right, Coach, thank you very much.
All righty, thank you.
Well, there you have it, a big win from Coach Turner Gill today in Liberty University over Troy University, 22-16, one of the biggest wins, I believe, in Liberty football history. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but I want to start out with one of the biggest stories and narratives of this game, and that's the defense, especially after coming off several games where they allowed 49 points, 43 points, 47 points. I mean, just talk a little bit about the defense today and the significant job that they did.
Well, DJ, you heard Coach Gill's comments. He made some adjustments within his staff, and the defensive staff made some adjustments just as a group. I think one of the most crucial spots that they made an adjustment this week after giving up, 518 yards last week, 568 the week before, 591 in their first game against Old Dominion. What they did is they switched Josh Bookbinder and Marshall Roberts from the booth to the field and sent Coach Wimberly up to the booth.
Yeah.
You want to know why that's different? Because everyone has decent energy on the sidelines, but I know Coach Roberts personally. I know Josh Bookbinder personally. The energy that they bring to this team on the field, and you saw it today.
Yeah.
You saw it today. It was hype, man. It's something I swear, I said it at the beginning of the show, I would go out there and play myself. I don't even play defense. I would have went and tried to sack a quarterback.
And it was a chess game.
Those dudes were balling. They played a great game, only gave up 293 total yards, well below Troy's average. It was an amazing day for the defense.
Pat, the defense, what do you think?
Coming into this game, I'm almost speechless. We look at some of the stats that are on the screen here. Troy only had 293 yards of offense. That really speaks volumes to just how prepared Coach Wimberly had this team. I alluded to earlier, Kyle DeArmond said the focus and the energy with this team this week was bar none. He said it was unmatched any game this season. I'm just really impressed with how the defense came up with 4 sacks, an interception, a fumble. They've done a tremendous job. My big cause for concern was the defense coming in, and they rose to the challenge.
Yeah, you're right. Only 3 penalties for the whole team, too. There was a different level of concentration today. You could see that. And starting all the way with the coaches and having Coach Wimberly up there almost playing like a chess game, it filtered all the way down, and you saw them respond.
And it's not like Coach Wimberly does not have energy. I don't want anybody to think I'm saying he doesn't. But it's just a different factor when you have those guys who are going to jump up and down and fake slam dunk with you on the sideline and give you dap all the time. That's what Coach Roberts and Coach Bookbinder bring to the defense on the sideline.
So how big of a significance is this game today and the entire Liberty football history? What do you think, Pat?
I think it's huge. If you take a look just at this Troy team, the last 2 years, they won 21 games. Just an absolute incredible job. 2 bowl victories that they just came off of. I think it's a big win against a top-tier team. I think this will give a lot of momentum going forward.
I agree. I think you put it up there with the James Madison playoff win. I think you put it up there with the Baylor win. But we're going to go up to the booth now with Matt and Joe Yock. How you guys doing?
After that one, that's for sure. It was a wild one, no doubt about it. And Joe, they talked so much about the defense. Let's talk about the offensive side because it wasn't a pretty game. And you heard Turner Gill say that in his post-game comments. The offense didn't have a game where they were throwing it all over the yard. It was a grinded out kind of game. They were down some weapons, and yet, like good teams do, they found a way to win it in the end.
Yeah, I would say this. Liberty did a good job both offensively and defensively, Matt, of taking care of the fundamentals. That was a game where you had to play fundamental football and get back to that, and they did a good job defensively, especially being able to keep their shoulders square, tackle, be in good spots in order to play good defense fundamentally.
I'll be honest, I didn't know if Liberty could win a game this style. A shoot 'em out, in the 40s. I could see Liberty winning games like that, and they have this year. We hadn't seen a defense like this that could allow them to win a grinded-out kind of game like we saw today. But think about some of the big plays down the stretch. Fidel Bafin, that diving catch on third down. Yeah. Third down conversions from B.J. Farrell. And then the touchdown from Farrell. Think about this, Joe. Yeah. If he doesn't catch that, hang on to it, it's not just an incomplete pass, let's go kick a field goal. It's an interception, and it's ball game. It's over. So his ability to wrestle that ball away and to hang on for dear life, that did it. That won the ball game.
Yeah, no question whatsoever. Like you said earlier, the old saying, big players make big plays in big-time games. It was crystal clear what Liberty wanted to do and Buckshot Calvert wanted to do, and that was get the ball to B.J. Farrell. They got it to him on third down when they really needed it a few times, and then when all the chips, when they took the chips and they pushed them all to the middle of the table, they said, we're throwing the jump ball to B.J. Farrell, and he just out-fought them, out-grinded the defensive back, and came out with the play of the game.
You feel good for a kid like that who's in his final year here at Liberty and all he's accomplished to be able to make a play like that. Certainly one that I'm sure he'll remember for a long, long time. And our Bobby Bolig just caught up with BJ a moment ago.
All right, BJ, game I'm sure you will not forget. I want you to take me back, though. Biggest play of the game. You find a way to come down with it. Talk to me about that moment.
Just coach trusting me to go make a play for Buck. Buck put it up for me to go make it. In practice all week, we just made plays. Coaches tell us that we got to attack the ball and just make a play when it's there.
All right, let's go to the next play. DJ Stubbs finds you in the end zone. How do you keep your emotions in check going from one big play to the next?
First of all, the ball wasn't supposed to go to me. It's supposed to go to Buck. We never throw the ball to me on that play, but I just found a window and DJ found me, and it was a big play for our team. I just want to make plays for our team to get the best shot to win.
Okay, I do want to talk about your defensive teammates. They stepped up huge today. Talk about their play on the field and what they brought to this group.
They played big tonight. Defense, they stepped up well. They had a little shaky start, but they came down, they tackled well, and just gave us stops, and we just had points off of it.
All right, BJ, great game today. Good luck the rest of the season.
Thanks.
DJ Stubbs, maybe one of the best dual threat quarterbacks in the nation that you haven't heard of. Threw an
exactly.
absolute dart. Not his first read.
Right.
You know, went through his progression,
He's a
found his
progression
guy, BJ Farrell, for that 2-point
Yeah.
conversion. But
Yeah.
obviously, Joe, just a monster win for this program, and now you have to back it up.
Yeah, no question. You know, to be able to get a win at home like this when everybody's questioning you, especially the defense.
Yeah.
Everybody had the questions. Sometimes that's what a defense needs. They need to read the newspaper articles and everybody tell you they need to hear.
Yeah.
They need to hear guys like us. They need to hear, you know, Pat and Matt and that whole crew and the guys in the studio say, hey, you know, the defense, and they did it. They stepped up and made the play. So yeah, a signature program win for Liberty. But once again, sometimes Liberty's had some of these what they call signature program wins. The win over Baylor, the James Madison playoff win. You got to back it up, like you said, Matt. So they get next man up, next game up.
And that'll be Idaho State, a team that is better than maybe you expect. And that'll be a good one next week. All I know is the Flames are 1-0 since Matt Kamari got those new slit glasses. So Matt, you got to bring them back next week, my man.
Hey, look, man, that's the whole reason I got them. I can't see half the stuff that's going on, so I definitely got the glasses. And I appreciate everybody making a comment who saw me today. He said I look smarter. I mean, did I look stupid before? Did I
It
look
wouldn't
dumb?
take much, though. I mean, if we're being honest. Yeah.
You know,
Basically, you look pretty dumb.
You know, Matt,
what they're saying.
you are, when you said that you're ready to suit it up, okay, you said I'm ready to suit it up. You would be the definition, if you had suited up in the glasses, you are the definition of a student athlete.
That's it. Yeah.
There we go. That's awesome. Appreciate it, Joe.
All right, thank you very much, guys. Now let's continue to talk about Troy University this time. I mean, Troy, we've talked about how great of a program they are. We're talking about a team that had won 12 of the last 13 games, that had beat LSU last year. We're talking about a team that won a bowl game next year, and they come into this year thinking they're going to have a pretty big year, and then they have this injury to Caleb Barker last week, and we didn't think that it would be that big of a transition, and obviously it was.
DJ, let's not forget they also beat Nebraska this year, which
right.
that's a pretty notable win.
Yeah, especially at Nebraska. Sure.
No doubt. And one of the things that Matt brought up before the game was he thought that the area of concern was going to be the quarterback play. And to his credit,
I didn't believe it.
I didn't either. I think that's a fantastic call. And there was a clear drop-off in the offense combined with how well the defense played, but there was definitely kind of that drop-off between Barker versus what we saw in Sawyer Smith today.
You know, guys, when I was picking out the key player for Troy, I'm not going to lie to you, I didn't think there would be that much drop-off. I thought Sawyer Smith was going to come in here with all the experience that he has. I thought he was going to be able to come in here and put together a good game with his game plan. But it was his first start. It was his first start since he's been at Troy, and that will always give you sort of a nervousness in your stomach, butterflies. So with that, you know, Sawyer Smith just did not put in the game, and then they kept switching quarterbacks. That kills rhythm. As an offensive lineman, I hated when we switched quarterbacks from one to the other, because as a lineman, as a big guy, you get in a rhythm. As running backs, you get in a rhythm. And, of course, receivers, you have timing routes, timing patterns. With quarterbacks, you'd hate to see that switch.
Now let's talk about Frankie Hickson a little bit. A guy who has kind of taken over the starting running back position after the injury of Kentori Matthews. He had a decent day today, but he was able to give the offense balance. What does that really mean to the wide receivers and the quarterback as a former wide receiver? How important was his day today?
And I'm really impressed with how he helped sustain some drives. Liberty's offense could have come off the field a few different times, and he was able to get that tough yard. Taking a look at his stats for the day, he had 23 carries. That's a big workload. Yeah. Between himself and Pickett, they had over 40 carries. So, I mean, there was definitely a commitment to the run game, and Hickson definitely came ready to play today.
Yeah, but like as Pat said, Hickson was great, Frankie was great. I love the thunder and lightning they have with Frankie and Pickett. They just bring two different elements to the game. But Frankie's that guy who will find you yards. Peyton will too. I just really loved how they mixed them in. Yeah. Joe Daly actually did a great job. We thought the offense didn't sustain some drives where they could have, but as far as the run game is concerned, you have two really good running backs, exciting running backs to watch, in Frankie Hickson and Peyton Pickett.
That's right, and we actually got an interview with Frankie Hickson right after the game.
All right, Frankie, a game I'm sure you will not forget. How do you put this one into words?
We fought and fought and fought until the game was over. We finally put 4 quarters together. It might not have looked pretty. It might have been the ugliest game that anybody's ever seen, but we came out victorious. Troy is a great team, and this is a great victory, great team victory.
Frankie, I want to talk about your defensive teammates. They stepped up huge. Talk to me a little bit about them and their performance today.
Exactly what you said. They stepped up huge. We've had a lot of people, this week and in weeks past, kind of downing us and it's been a lot on the defense as far as people downing us, but they're just as good as anybody else. The coaching staff is great, offensive-wise, defensive-wise. We're all on the same page. It just might not look like that sometimes, but we're a team, we're a family, and we have each other's backs.
Now, Frankie, they say you learn a lot from adversity. What do you think you and your teammates have learned that you guys made a statement win with it today?
That if we keep fighting and we keep fighting and we hold each other accountable and we have each other's backs, we can beat anybody.
All right, Frank, I'll let you enjoy this one. Thank you.
Great, thank you for joining our post-game show. Before we wrap it up, we're going to talk about how this win really stacks up against the rest of the season. We've got some big games coming up, but I think they're in a much better position than I thought they would be honest with you.
You know, I'm actually really excited. I heard some fire in Turner Grill's voice in that post-game press conference, and I wrote down a quote that he said that I didn't necessarily hear earlier in the week. He said, these are the games that you have to find a way to win. And I absolutely love that because it's a fire with the team, and it's saying to that team, hey, listen, we're going out here with the expectation to win this game. I love the fire that he presented, and I think that's going to help set a precedent for some of these games.
Even his energy
forward.
And countenance was much different. I don't know about you.
We hit it in the we hit his presser in the pregame show. Much different Turner Gill in that postgame today, and as it should be. But look at the schedule going forward. They're 3-3 right now. 3 possible wins remain on this schedule. That's Idaho State next week, New Mexico State, who comes here, and then you got Norfolk State. That puts them at 6 wins and possibly gets them into that Cure Bowl, which they will be eligible for if all the other teams, I believe, are not there.
And don't forget, UMass could be a competitive game as well.
Absolutely.
So it'll be really interesting to see what happens with this Liberty football team as they transition to FBS. Thank you very much for tuning in to our post-game show where Liberty Flames beats the Troy University Trojans 22-16.